DocTalk is brought to you by Merck Animal Health, the science of healthier animals.
Hey folks, welcome to DocTalk. It's going to be a great show today. We have Dr. Todd Bilby here today from Merck Animal Health, and we're going to be talking about the estrus cycle in cows, reproductive efficiency of cows, first calf heifers, and much, much more. It's going to be a great show. Thanks for joining us today, and we'll be right back.
As dependable as the sunrise, in dairy parlors, open pastures, on ranches and feed yards across America. A place where reputation is more than a name, where the science of healthier animals is a way of life. It's the responsibility that drives who we are and what we do. Every decision, every day. It's your livelihood and our responsibility.
If you're looking for advanced and innovative livestock handling products and facilities, Daniels Manufacturing Company is who you want to choose. They are a family-owned business that puts the needs of their customers first, and have so since they opened in 1958. With low-stress cattle handling being of the utmost importance, they are focused on quality, not quantity. The company prides themselves on prioritizing the animal's well-being by staying on the cutting edge of design and only using the best materials and manufacturing operations. For more information or to purchase your own, contact Daniels Manufacturing Company today. Closed captioning is brought to you by Profusion Drench for beef cattle, a no prescription, no needle supplement. To learn more, go to zenpro.com.
Hey folks, welcome to DocTalk. I'm Dr. Dan Thompson here with Dr. Todd Bilby. And Dr. Bilby is the Associate Director of Cattle Technical Services for Merck Animal Health. And you spend a lot of time working with reproductive efficiency, cattle, dairy cattle, you name it, but you've been doing this quite a while.
Yeah, I've been doing this for a while, and I'm fortunate to jump on both sides of the fence. So it's really good to be on the dairy industry and the beef side. So. Well,
it amazes me because, you know, the dairy industry has spent so much time and they handle so many females, obviously, and it's the reproductive efficiency and the reproductive strategies are so advanced relative to what we do in the beef industry. So I bet it's kind of fun to come to this side and say, wow, here's some things we've been doing in the dairy that will make a big difference.
Absolutely. Seeing what's gone on in the dairy industry over the years, and now seeing where it's also going into the beef farms and where the advancements were made on dairy and how they utilize these different reproductive technologies has been really nice to now sit in on the beef side and say, okay, how do we incorporate this with a little different challenges, but still the same opportunities are existing.
So as we talk about setting up the female for success, and we're going to talk about some synchronization things, but I thought if we just kind of jump back and just talk a little bit about the postpartum time period of a cow. So after she has that calf until she starts cycling, and then once she starts cycling, what does that estrus cycle kind of look like?
Sure. So when a cow calves, you can roughly say if it's the first time she's having a calf, you know, it's a much more stressful time period on that first calf heifer. And so a lot of times they won't start cycling again out there maybe even 70, 80 days post-calving, right? Whereas a cow that's had multiple calves, it's a little less stressful. She's been through it before, and so usually they'll start cycling 45, 50, 55 days, hopefully. You know, again, hoping nutrition's right and everything's right. That's what it should be. And then they start their first estrus cycle, and then hopefully it's every 20 or 21 days thereafter.
Yeah, and it makes some sense, right? Because that 2 months time period, month and a half, 2 months on a cow, and a little bit longer on a heifer. But if they're not cycling, we can't manipulate the.
Exactly. If they're not cycling, that's Mother Nature's way of saying they're just not ready yet. And so, and if anything, it gives you an opportunity. If you have those that are cycling way later than the time periods that I just mentioned, then maybe you need to go look at your nutrition program or vaccination or so on.
So kind of walk me through that 21-day cycle.
Okay. Yep. So when a cow shows a heat, ovulation occurs. Where that ovulation occurs on her ovary, a corpus luteum or CL forms, and that CL produces progesterone, which is what really maintains and holds the estrous cycle of a cow. And so that progesterone then is keeping the cow from showing heat or ovulating. And so that lasts for about 17, 18 days, and then natural release of prostaglandin within the cow will kill the CL, allow that follicle to take off and grow, and estrogen's being produced, and she shows a strong heat, and then she's able to ovulate to that heat, and the cycle starts over again.
Okay, so that kind of sets us up then for understanding how we're going to do some manipulation and why different things work, correct?
Correct, absolutely, because when you know what goes on in the estrous cycle, you can then time your shots, because these shots are, again, hormones that are normally in the estrous cycle of a cow and being manipulated within her normally. We're just using those same things now to manipulate them, but knowing the estrous cycle and when those hormones occur, it allows us to time these shots appropriately.
Perfect. We're going to take a break. When we come back, more with Dr. Bilby. You're watching DocTalk, and we'll see you here after a bit.
Four generations before me did their job providing this opportunity to me and my siblings. If I do things right, I'm going to lay that opportunity out for my kids.
My entire family is a vital element of a job you have to get done.
But, it's just fun to be around the family and doing this.
And you'll do the right thing for the business. You will do the right thing for the cows because it's for a family.
If you're looking for advanced and innovative livestock handling products and facilities, Daniels Manufacturing Company is who you want to choose. They are a family-owned business that puts the needs of their customers first and have so since they opened in 1958. With low-stress cattle handling being of the utmost importance, they are focused on quality, not quantity. The company prides themselves on prioritizing the animal's well-being by staying on the cutting edge of design and only using the best materials and manufacturing operations. For more information or to purchase your own, contact Daniels Manufacturing Company today. Producers know stress costs money. It puts their cattle at greater risk of illness and can be a substantial drain on animal performance. That's why Zenpro developed ProFusion Drench for beef cattle. Formulated with Zenpro's patented trace mineral technology, ProFusion Drench is a no-script, no-needle performance supplement proven to rapidly replenish essential nutrients lost during times of stress. For optimal results, use ProFusion Drench with Zenpro Performance Minerals in feed as part of a complete nutrition program. To learn more, go to zenpro.com. ValleyVet.com is your one-stop shop for your every animal need, from prescription meds, vaccines, equipment, and more for the ranch to the show ring. Shop ValleyVet.com for fast shipping and great prices.
Valley Vet Supply.
Hey folks, welcome back to DocTalk. Dr. Dan Thompson here with Dr. Todd Bilby. He is the Associate Director of Cattle Technical Services for Merck Animal Health. He has a wealth of experience. He's been on faculty at the University of Arizona.
Yep.
And
Texas A&M.
and so has spent a lot of time in academia, but now he's out in the real world making it happen. And he's doing a lot of good things with dairy and beef, reproductive services, but he's a beef person at heart, raised on a ranch, and now we've drug him back to cows and calves. So we're so thankful because he's doing a world of good. Let's talk a little bit about why understanding that cycle is important, and then some of the things that you're doing with manipulation to improve profitability.
Sure. So, knowing where the cow is in her estrus cycle, if she's cycling, and then where she's at in her estrus cycle, allows you to then go in there and utilize, for instance, a prostaglandin injection, which is what naturally goes on in the cow to trigger her to kill the CL and cause a heat. We're just utilizing that in a shot form so that we can go ahead and have her induce a heat much sooner. But you got to have a functional CL, which means she has to be cycling for those prostaglandins to really work. And
so after she has that, releases the follicle or releases the oocyte, then we get that CL.
Right, exactly. Where that ovulation occurs is where that CL forms.
And so how many days between a heat until the CL is?
So you usually have, roughly a cow is, say, 20, 21 day estrus cycle on average. So once you get the ovulation occurring, by the next day, right, that CL's forming, and then by day 6 or 7, that CL is now mature enough to respond to an injection of prostaglandin. So the first 5 or 6 days of a cow's cycle, if you were to go in there and give her prostaglandins, you're going to have very low, if any, heats whatsoever, because that CL is too early.
And so that leads us to your one shot.
Yeah, absolutely.
That makes perfect sense.
Yes, exactly. I think a very easy approach to take advantage of the importance of having a short calving season, getting calves on the ground as soon as possible so they have longer to eat and you have higher weaning weights, and just a plethora of data showing the advantages of getting those cows pregnant early in the calving season. And by doing that, you can use one shot of prostaglandin 5 days after you put the bulls in.
Yep.
And then give that prostaglandin to all the animals. And if that bull bred anything that previous 5 days, it's okay, because again, that CL is too early. It's not going to respond to that prostaglandin injection. You're going to go ahead and sync up the rest of those cows. And so that bull over a 10-day period will hopefully cover a lot of females. And so that'll help tighten that calving interval.
So how many bulls? Do you have to increase the number of bulls when you do this?
Great question, and it's probably the biggest question I get. No, your bull power doesn't change. Those bulls can cover a lot. Now granted, you need to do the proper things with the bulls as far as breeding soundness exams and so on before breeding season occurs. Make sure you have bulls that are out there working. But your bull power stays the same. Still the industry average, the 1 to 25, 1 to 30 or so that they recommend.
One last question before we go to break. What is the typical, if I don't do something, if I have a normal cycling herd,
right.
How much improvement will I get by doing this one shot of prostaglandin? How many more calves will I have born in that first 30 days?
Yeah, and it's so dependent on the different, every herd's different. If assuming a really good herd, some of the data has moved, them that were only getting, say, 40% or so in that first 21 to 30 day period, now it's moving them up to 60 or 70% in that 21 to 30 day period. Again, all depending on the farm and how many are cycling and so on, but you can have a big advantage of just one shot of prostaglandin, and the ROI on that is really big.
Perfect. Folks, we're going to take a break. This is great information, such a fun show. Appreciate you being here, Dr. Bilby.
Absolutely.
We're going to take a break, and when we come back, more on reproductive efficiency.
If you're looking for advanced and innovative livestock handling products and facilities, Daniels Manufacturing Company is who you want to choose. They are a family-owned business that puts the needs of their customers first, and have so since they opened in 1958. With low-stress cattle handling being of the utmost importance, they are focused on quality, not quantity. The company prides themselves on prioritizing the animal's well-being by staying on the cutting edge of design and only using the best materials and manufacturing operations. For more information or to purchase your own, contact Daniels Manufacturing Company today. Producers know stress costs money. It puts their cattle at greater risk of illness and can be a substantial drain on animal performance. That's why Zenpro developed ProFusion Drench for beef cattle. Formulated with Zenpro's patented trace mineral technology, ProFusion Drench is a no-script, no-needle performance supplement proven to rapidly replenish essential nutrients lost during times of stress. For optimal results, use ProFusion Drench with Zenpro Performance Minerals in feed as part of a complete nutrition program. To learn more, go to zenpro.com.
As dependable as the sunrise, in dairy parlors, open pastures, on ranches and feed yards across America. A place where reputation is more than a name, where the science of healthier animals is a way of life. It's the responsibility that drives who we are and what we do. Every decision, every day. It's your livelihood and our responsibility.
ValleyVet.com is your one-stop shop for your every animal need, from prescription meds, vaccines, equipment, and more for the ranch to the show ring. Shop ValleyVet.com for fast shipping and great prices.
Valley Vet Supply.
Hey folks, welcome back to DocTalk. Dr. Dan Thompson here with Dr. Todd Bilby. He's a reproductive specialist and he is the Associate Director of Beef Cattle Technical Services for Merck Animal Health. And been on faculty at Texas A&M, been on faculty at the University of Arizona, and is just one of those people when you get him to stop, because he is on the run and wanted by so many people to talk about different things that we're talking about today. It's just a pleasure to have you here, and thanks for taking the time out.
Good to be here. Thank you.
Let's talk a little bit. I don't think it can be overstated what some of the advantages of something as simple as turning the bulls in with the cows for 5 days and then bringing them through and hitting them with a prostaglandin, what that can do in shifting the profitability of a cow-calf herd.
Yeah, big. Yeah, and there's a lot of good data out of there. A lot of it coming from Nebraska and some from Florida, showing when they're able to shift those calving intervals, not only the profit that you make on the calf itself, because now you're getting the calf born earlier, so it has more time to eat, so the weaning weights are higher. But the replacement heifers, they got them, the heifers that were born in the first 21 days, say compared to the ones born in the third 21 days, they started cycling sooner, got bred back quicker. The cows that had calves in the first 21 days stayed in the herd much longer than the cows that had calves in the third 21-day period.
Yeah.
So there's advantages on the heifers, there's advantages on the steers. They followed them all the way through the feedlot and saw higher carcass values and weights there. So for one shot of prostaglandin, you can get a tremendous benefit financially on your calves that are being born much earlier.
Yeah.
And even Dr. Lamb did a nice study showing taking the calving interval down on a herd he worked on from 120-day calving interval to 72 days roughly. He estimated it gained him about a $50,000 a year profit over what they were doing at 120 days by getting it down to 70 days on a 300 cow herd.
Right. And so as you start to think about this, and I think one of the misconceptions is too, I'm going to have more bulls.
Right.
Well, if I don't have to have more bulls and I have enough bull power, it makes a huge difference, because if you did have to add bulls, then we start talking different scenario.
Right.
But if you don't have to, this is something that I think is really an advantage for beef production.
Yep. Yeah, and it's something that, depending on where you start, it might take some time, and obviously proper culling strategies need to come into play too. But you'll see the advantages each year, and each year it gets a little tighter and a little tighter, and the benefits get greater and greater.
Yep. Well, I think we have to go to break here, but also, those calves are gaining 2.2 pounds a day.
Right.
Regardless of when they're born.
Yeah, right, yeah.
And if you can get more of them up there when you have that good grass, and you're starting to see that higher protein, just better lactation, better everything going all the way around, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Great. Folks, we're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to shift gears and take you to the next level here with Dr. Bilby, talking about some timed AI. You're watching DocTalk. Thanks for joining us.
If you're looking for advanced and innovative livestock handling products and facilities, Daniels Manufacturing Company is who you want to choose. They are a family-owned business that puts the needs of their customers first, and have so since they opened in 1958. With low-stress cattle handling being of the utmost importance, they are focused on quality, not quantity. The company prides themselves on prioritizing the animal's well-being by staying on the cutting edge of design and only using the best materials and manufacturing operations. For more information or to purchase your own, contact Daniels Manufacturing Company today.
4 generations before me did their job providing this opportunity to me and my siblings. If I do things right, I'm going to lay that opportunity out for my kids.
My entire family is a vital element of a job you have to get done.
But, it's just fun to be around the family and doing this.
And you'll do the right thing for the business. You will do the right thing for the cows because it's for a family.
Producers know stress costs money. It puts their cattle at greater risk of illness and can be a substantial drain on animal performance. That's why Zenpro developed ProFusion Drench for beef cattle. Formulated with Zenpro's patented trace mineral technology, ProFusion Drench is a no-script, no-needle performance supplement proven to rapidly replenish essential nutrients lost during times of stress. For optimal results, use ProFusion Drench with Zenpro Performance Minerals in feed as part of a complete nutrition program. To learn more, go to zenpro.com. ValleyVet.com is your one-stop shop for your every animal need. From prescription meds, vaccines, equipment, and more for the ranch to the show ring. Shop ValleyVet.com for fast shipping and great prices.
Valley Vet Supply.
Hey folks, welcome back to DocTalk. Dr. Dan Thompson here with Dr. Todd Bilby, and he is the Associate Director of Beef Cattle Technical Services with Merck Animal Health. Great academic as well, and has published papers on dairy and beef cattle reproductive efficiency, and now he is traveling, working with veterinarians, working with producers, around the globe on helping get cows and heifers bred. And so you said the next step in going from syncing our cows and with natural services to start to talk about some timed AI.
That's right. I mean, once you've seen the advantages of shortening that calving interval, the next logical step with using reproductive tools would be using timed insemination, and probably starting with your heifers would be easier. Start with them about a month sooner, get them AI'd quicker, again, because it takes them longer on that next season after they have a calf to start cycling again. You want them paired up with your cow herd. So starting them a month earlier, introducing some genetics into your herd, being able to pick those top bulls, I think is a good next step into this. And you get the advantage of a shorter calving season.
Sure. So talk to us a little bit about, some of the things. If I'm new at this and I'm like, next year, and I see a lot of veterinarians now starting to handle semen tanks and, put this service into their practice as well.
Sure.
And working with the breeding services and different companies. But what would you tell somebody that's going to get started with this?
Yeah, so if you're going to get started with this, obviously the first line, talk to your veterinarian, right? Talk to the people who have done this before. If you have neighboring ranches that do this, that's always a good way. There's a great website out there, beefrepro.org, that I use heavily because I work on both dairy and beef, and all the sync protocols are different, and hours are different, and heifers and cows are different, and off-sync, co-sync, kitchen sink. You don't know what you're getting, right? So you got to get on these websites to remember, and they're really good, and they got synchronization protocols. They have some really good webinars and fact sheets. One of them is tips for successful synchronization. So that'd be a great little sheet to read. And again, sit down with your veterinarian and put a plan in place.
And who puts together beefrepro.org? I'm assuming this is some scientists and some specialists.
Yes, some really smart people across multiple universities come together, and these are the cutting-edge reproductive physiologists who work hard at developing the protocols that'll fit your operation, but also will yield you the highest conception rate.
So then when you start to think about using those heifers, rather than just jumping into the cows, those first calf heifers are newest and latest genetics.
Correct, right.
And so we're improving the best genetics supposedly we have on the ranch, correct?
Absolutely. You're improving the genetics that you have on the ranch. You're able to pick top bulls. You're able to also for sure be able to pick the ones with calving ease. Sometimes we're told these bulls have calving ease, but when you go to an AI stud, they have proven sires, so you really know what you're getting. And it's a great way to introduce that. And then you can start opening doors of, okay, do I want to use sex semen? Do I want to use these other technologies, right? But first you got to get in there and get the good conception rates with doing a basic timed AI in your heifers.
Thanks for being here. Just great information.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it.
Folks, Dr. Todd Bilby, he's the Associate Director of Beef Cattle Technical Services at Merck Animal Health, and a great source of information. Remember, always work with your local veterinarian. And if you want to know what we do here at DocTalk, you can find us on the web at www.doctalktv.com. I'm Dr. Dan Thompson with Dr. Todd Bilby, and we'll see you down the road.
Closed captioning is brought to you by Profusion Drench for beef cattle, a no prescription, no needle supplement. To learn more, go to zenpro.com. DocTalk was brought to you by Merck Animal Health, the science of healthier animals. ValleyVet.com is your one-stop shop for your every animal need, from prescription meds, vaccines, equipment, and more for the ranch to the show ring. Shop ValleyVet.com for fast shipping and great prices.
Valley Vet Supply.